First item of business is to discuss and consider approval on the rezoning application for 637 Village Drive to be rezoned from residential single family high density to two-family residential district.
Ian did provide new staff comments for this item in the packet today, specifically on the rezone.
It's so much comprehensive. This was before us before. Discussion, concerns?
I do have several people wanting to speak on this item.
Okay, let's go ahead with that.
Okay, Jenna Shank, you're up first if you're desired. She.
Yeah. You want to talk? Oh, I can hear her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever been accused of being too quiet. Thank you.
Jenna Shank, 665 Village Drive, Belleville. I just want to again reiterate that I would prefer to keep it as a single family up there at the top end of Village Drive, even though there are some duplexes and multi down the street. I agree with what Steve said about all the falls down that way. And I said before, if it's a duplex, that means there's 6 dogs on that piece of land, and 3 are way too many, let alone 6. So just please give that some consideration again.
Lori Kate.
I'm Lori Kate, 636 Village Drive. I guess the concerns I have, after speaking with you, Jen, after the last meeting, you mentioned you're not building the duplexes to rent, you're building them to sell, or building it to sell.
That's the plan, yes.
So I guess the question then is, who are going to be the renters? Who's going to own it at that point? I would also prefer it to be single family. Build a nice house. We don't begrudge you making money on, buying a lot and building something there, Jim. That's how you make your money. But I feel like there should be enough rental properties being built in the west development there, that it would be nice to keep it as our established neighborhood, single family residential. There's a lot of longtime residents there. You also mentioned, it would be a nice looking property, which I would agree, but if you built a nice house and sold it, that would also achieve the same thing.
Sherlock.
Steve Drill, 627 Village Drive. I agree with Lori and Jim. Same thing. I've heard nothing but how your family and over time to develop the town, and you've been instrumental to the growth of Belleville. But from the small time I've been in Belleville, the 15 years I've lived there, the history of the 2 duplexes down the street has shown past practice that it'll be problematic later on down. My main concern is he's going to build a gorgeous duplex, no doubt about it. Not knowing how much it would cost, say whatever, 600,000-800,000, I have no idea. But I'm assuming that the rent for something like that on a brand new property is going to outprice it, where somebody could buy a similar starter home like I live in. I paid mine for 15 years ago for 145,000. Now it's like 225-ish, something like that. I think that would pull people away from there. So anyone who buys this property with the idea of using it as rental property later, it might sit there vacant for a significant amount of time, and no one wants to sit there and not make the money on their investment. So that's when my concern is you would have a higher probability of getting a Section 8 type people in there, like we had across the street with the Dane County, SWAT teams and drugs and everything else. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, that you own the duplex down the street at the very end, the cream colored ones?
Oh, my daughter.
His daughter. So those were the problem ones that even some law enforcement people that live here, you know, were telling me when I was like full time at the institution that, you know, it's been drugs. And it looked like Fred Sanford's place out there for years. You know, you clean up, they'd renovate the inside after the tenants got evicted. And then they fix it all up again. And I don't think we need that. We're here. A single family is great standalone condo. You have a higher probability of not having that type of over time, 5, 10, 15 years later, due to age, that it turns into that type of property. Other than that, there's no taxable, according to Everhardy's, we did tax for the fourplex next to it, where the swag team was at that time. They said there was a tax, no monetary benefit for the village. So it comes down to what you can build there and what's going to be turned into at a later date. So once Mr. Olson makes money building a beautiful place, my concern is, 10, 15 years from now, and I'm assuming I'm still going to live here in this town, I have no intention of leaving, that then I'm going to have the same issues I had when I lived on the east side of Madison, watching some of the rental property 2 or 3 blocks from me down off of Thompson Drive got so bad that they had to build another substation for the police department there. And my wife at the time, worked at Allied Drive, was a detective. So this is stuff that I have firsthand. And as far as the drug issues, it could hit, there's some conversation online and I agree with that. Well, it could hit any person. Well, it hit my family. My stepdaughter, she got so addicted to drugs, and I've seen it firsthand that you can do everything right and it's still wrong. And she's in rental property and her dealers were in rental properties and things like that. So it hits close to home for me too. I just want to keep that small community that we live in, residential to the point where we have kids running around. I mean, some of the people, 8 out of 9 houses I talked to surrounding that property, not a single one says, hey, that'd be great. Not a single one. So I'd like to think that, hope that, the village, board or whatever would take the consideration that, if it does fit in that lot, I was under the impression last time that you needed a variance to fit in that lot. I might be wrong here. That's where you need the variance to put that size building in that smaller lot, but I might be wrong there. Either way, as a whole, I think it's a poor idea for that particular place. There's other places you could build something like that to give, low cost housing for other people. I just don't think that's a good fit for the neighborhood. Thank you.
Carson.
Hi, I'm Carson Brewer. I do the leasing at the strip mall, and I also have equity interest in 511, 513, the notorious cream duplex on the end there. I know there's a lot of buzz going around about drugs that were once or may not have been sold out of there. So I don't know who all pays attention to the market and whatnot, but that duplex has really been turned around as far as being, renovated and, with intentions to hopefully sell. I guess with that being said, I know there's a lot of people talking about the duplexes that are going to be sold over there in West Village. But, not everyone that's coming to Belleville to buy a new home wants to be surrounded in a subdivision that's being constructed over the course of the next couple of years. So, I think this would be a great way, an affordable way for people to move into Belleville and not be swamped by, construction trucks and yada, yada, yada. That's my piece.
When I had signed up, I do have one letter that was sent in.
Excuse me, does he live here?
Do you live here?
I do not, but I have equity interest in the duplex at the end of Village Drive.
Okay, but you're not a village resident. You don't pay taxes here.
Yes, with the duplex, yes.
Oh, you pay taxes for it?
Yes, I'm a part owner. Yep.
I see. Would you like to know that, board?
You want me to read this?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, dear Village of Belleville Planning Commission. As property owners in the Village of Belleville for the past 47 years, we wanted to voice our opinion against zoning change from single resident to 2-family residential for 637 Village Drive, Belleville. Our west end of Village Drive is mainly single-family residents. The east end of Village Drive has apartments and duplexes. It would seem logical that if a duplex was to be built, it would be more appropriately be built on the east end of Village Drive. There are empty lots available near the apartments. It is in the best interest of the village to have single residents grouped together for property values, and with those families having a vested interest in the community. The rental properties serve a purpose for transitional stages of life. A family with permanent residence in the village would tend to the upkeep of the property with more diligence. All of the neighbors surrounding lot 637 Village Drive are united in the same opinion This lot should remain single-family housing. Thank you for considering our opinions. We appreciate your time and effort in this matter. Respectfully submitted, Eric and Carol Eberhardy, 626 Village Drive.
So Jim, did you were wanted to build these to sell them, correct?
Yes,
Yes, and not as rentals. What was your estimated sale price per unit?
Estimated sale price is gonna be roughly around $350,000. And I mean, I totally understand everybody's concern as far as the renters and stuff like that. I don't own rental property myself, and no landlord's perfect, but at the end of the day, Belleville needs affordable housing, and affordable housing right now, Belleville, minimum entry level, a new house is $475,000 minimum. And that's on the west side of town. And of course, we're gonna get some more on the south side and the west side, or on the east side too. But at the end of the day, it's about affordability, and affordability, in my opinion, is not $500,000 house. And, according to the village plans, as far as that goes, this is consistent with what the plan is for the village. I grew up on actually 535 Village Drive, and I lived there for my whole life. Went to school in Belleville and the whole 9 yards as far as that goes. We had apartments across from us my whole time growing up. And, of course, there was a few problems, as I remember, but you're going to have that. You've got a house sitting next to you guys that's looked like hell for the last,
20 years.
I wouldn't go 20 years, but at least 2 years. And, if I was you guys, I would be bitching more about that than having.
We did. Doesn't do any good.
I'm not going to deny that, but.
And it's empty now.
Yeah.
We've been evicted.
Yeah. And that's a problem too. And, I totally understand your concern, but my concern is affordable housing, number one. Number two, to get, something nice looking. And I put a picture in there, what the house is going to look like, a duplex. And this has value on that, because I know on some of the houses around there, it's just value. I don't want to even make a comment that, financially doesn't make a difference to the village. But actually, it does make a difference to the village, because financially, there's going to be two houses with assessed value of $300,000. So the village will make a little bit more money, but it's not about making money in some cases. But at the end of the day, some of those houses that are sitting next to it, the assessed values on some of those houses currently are 224,000, 170,000, and basically $194,000. And so these will probably be assessed value of the market value is at 350, the assessed value 300, 325. So I mean, there's going to be more tax dollars generated by these guys than currently what's there. And I totally understand about the SWAT team at the Dome property, but that's not to be stereotypical, but unfortunately, if you have a renter that's paying $600 a month, more people can afford that, opposed to a renter or a person who owns his home. In our case, you're hopefully won't have those problems, but there's no guarantee. I mean, we all have problems, and just because somebody lives in a single family house doesn't mean you're gonna have a SWAT call there. Hopefully you won't, but it happens. So I guess what I'm asking the board to do is be consistent with your plan. As Ian sent the letter out and said, this is what the plan is. I'm just trying to give you what is in your plan, and at the same time, give more people access to more affordable housing. Questions?
So this is going to be sold to one owner? Each half is going to
I
be?
mean, it could be sold to one owner, like a mother-in-law or, a family situation, but most likely will probably be sold to two different individuals.
So then is there going to be a fight over one side needs a roof and the other side doesn't?
There'll be an agreement. It's a zero line condo, so there'll be an agreement that both parties agree to. So if one can't have a pink door, another one can have a purple door, there'll be some deed restrictions on that. Just to keep the aesthetics up, and we're going to change the look a little bit too, and just make it a little bit more, I guess, modern would be our goal.
I know someone in Oregon lives in a similar subdivision with shared. They're going through the roof replacement thing right now. And it's just share the cost.
Yeah.
You know, what you said about, you know, house values, assessed values, you know, matches my research that I did, you know, that these are actually valued higher than some of the single family homes in the area. You know, I guess, you know, my general concern is say this. I guess what I've heard is a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the future and what that brings and what has gone on at other properties. You know, there's no guarantee that the same thing is going to happen at every other property that ever gets built. You know, I would say the building does not cause crime, it's the people in it. And it becomes more of a police issue. You know, those are some of my thoughts on what I've heard here. I don't see a reason to ordinance wise that would prevent this. Anyone else's comments?
Well, I stand with the people here that leave it a single family. That's what they want. That's what their taxpayers, they have a right to their decision, and I agree with it. Leave it single family.
I mean, I guess I tend to agree, you know, the houses that have been built there in the last 20 years are all been single family, so, yeah, the duplex down at the end of the street has had problems, and then it's got to be on a second or third owner now already, and some of the previous owners pretty reputable too, and still had issues there, so, I don't know.
I struggle with this a little bit because with the ordinances and the comprehensive plan, it does demonstrate that this would be a property that would be something we'd be looking for. I get the other things as well. So it does make it a little difficult. Will the same issues happen in this property? It looks like a nice property. It's fairly expensive. You would hope that you get people in there that would be good. But I don't know. The property is different. Is there other properties similar in the near vicinity? There is. There's some others, which makes me, like, if there was nothing in that area, I'd maybe be more apt. But again, what our comprehensive plan says and ordinance says does allow for this kind of building in that area. So as a planning commission, it makes it a little hard when we are given a direction what can be there and we would go against that. I get what you're saying, though.
Just because it's in the ordinance doesn't mean you have to follow it. There you go.
By law, it does.
Yeah, actually legally. And it's, you have to, if ordinance is there for a reason to guide you legally. And so if it's allowable, you should.
It's allowed, but so is a single family. That's what it.
Both are.
I'll also caution just a bit about dictating to a property owner what they can and can't do on their property when it's legally allowable or disallowable, just because that's a slippery slope that might go in somebody's favor in this moment, but might not go in your favor next time. I would caution on the side of
Exactly. That's
not allowing government to.
That's why the ordinances are in place. I mean, you could take it to something smaller. Say you wanted to build a shed in your backyard and your neighbor's shed is dilapidated. And your neighbors tell you you can't build a shed because the neighbor's one is junk. So, you know, now yours is gonna be. I mean, that's what's being implied.
I mean, and I totally understand about the renters, and that's why we would sell these as far as individual units. So people who are gonna be there hopefully will be, you know,
I mean,
decent human beings and own their own
it's the
property.
ability to control who goes into a property is, you know, beyond the planning commission's or pretty, it's whoever owns the property and who they choose to sell it to. Or, doesn't sound like that's the plan, but if it would become a rental, you know, choosing who to rent to. And that's why there's, most places have a vetting process for that. So,
And also to say too, like on the side yards too, the side yards with both of these, with this building being on there will be, 33 feet to the west and 24 feet to the east. So the lot's a big enough lot, which is, that's more room than a lot of the new development on the west side.
right, because the standard setback is, I believe, 6 feet.
Exactly.
So,
The lot, it's a big lot, there's no doubt. And, and one of the reasons I purchased it, because what the comprehensive plan said is I knew it was allowed. I grew up in the street, I had friends living in the duplexes or in the apartments, and they went to school. And there's some problems sometimes with everything, but, we don't want to judge everybody by one thing, but I get the concerns. I really do.
That's a good question. I've lived behind that block for 20 years and I've seen it sold multiple times and never built on. And every time the previous owners would buy it and start planning with architects, it was not big enough to build a single family with a driveway to the next to the Betts house because of the easement. So they went to Aaron Betts and asked if they could have an easement in order to have their driveway there, and Aaron said no. So how is it? I guess I'm terrible at math. I don't understand how it wasn't big enough for a single family a couple of years ago, but now the lot is big enough for a multi. It doesn't make sense to me, and I see that yard all the time. It doesn't look big enough. I bet 3, 4 owners have went back and forth on that lot. And I don't know why. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't math to me.
I honestly can't answer that question because I was one of those people. It's, that lot right now, the way it sits, each side's 6,200 square feet, other side's 5,400 square feet. So that's, roughly you say 12,000 square feet. The new lots on the west side, are 9,000 square feet. So less than that, actually.
We did change the minimum lot size too recently.
It's
Within the last 2 years, would make it change where you can fit 2 on, whereas before you might not have been able to.
you'd definitely be able to fit one because there's 100 foot of frontage right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always wondered why there wasn't a single family, but then to hear about
With
the
this-
easement and whatever, and the fact that they couldn't put it on there with that power pole there, and then to have it sell again and again, now the duplex can suddenly fit. I don't.
Oh, I guess we'd have to go back to Ian's memo from July when and I apologize, I wasn't at the July meeting. But when you guys viewed the certified survey map for this property, he did what guidance was passed contingent on the rezone.
let me pull that map up once. Is that under his staff comments?
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, so it'd be the July Plan Commission meeting.
Oh, July.
Yeah, it was July. And in August, he used the same memo as July, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, the lot's 132 feet across. So I have no idea why the single family lot wouldn't be able to be in there or whatever.
And in years past, we did have a different zoning administrator who I can't speak to his due diligence on anything that was said previously.
And flat meets the square foot requirements. Changed. Right. So, any commission comments? Go ahead.
I haven't had my chance to speak on this. It's very, very concerning to me. Got a bunch of people here that have a legal requirement that they're looking for, a single family building. This is a two-family divided with a 0 lot line. I realized, because I sat on this board, that happened when there was a couple places in town that ended up being 0 lot. And so far, I guess it worked out pretty good. My question to you, Jim, did I hear you right, that there's 132 feet
Right.
in width? What would happen if you cut that exactly in half? Turn that building around on each one, like some of the buildings that we've seen go up, and you would have 2 single families, each with their own lot. Now, I don't know if that would appease the people that have spoken on this. But that would be my idea of trying to settle this. And as you know, from past experience, we're going to go over, and we were talking about this tonight, we're going to be talking more, that all of our ordinances and all that stuff is going to be rehashed because we found mistakes, not intentional by any means, but we found mistakes. And we're going to correct it. It's going to take a while, but we're going to do it. So my suggestion, and this is me talking, if you turn them around and split them, I would approve it. But if not, I'm not for this. I'm not just speaking because of these people, they said.
I mean, I understand you guys have a hard time, and I understand where these people are coming from too, and I understand what you guys are, this is a volunteer job, and, you know, I get your concerns, and that's a good idea. The only that could be done, but then it would be, and I'm not an engineer, but you'd have to get a variance on one or maybe both sides for the lot lines. So the lot, because if there's 24 feet on the south, on the east one, and there's 33 feet on the west side. So if you did that, you'd have to maybe have 10 feet. What's the variance? Is it 6 feet or is it a cumulative 15 feet?
I think side and, I will double check I know sidelines are 6, back is 20. But I'd have to double check.
Yeah, the backside, I mean, we're more than good on the back and front, because it's 27.5 to the back and 20.
Let me check. Sorry, this is usually an Ian job, so give me a hot minute here.
I mean, maybe, that could be done, and maybe you wouldn't need a variance. That would work out fine too.
Well, as you know, Jim, you've been down here many times for your developments.
Oh, sure.
Correct?
Lots of times.
And it's not without saying, we can give a person a variance in certain cases.
Sure.
To make things work. We've done that.
Right. No, you guys have been more than adequate in everything.
And I don't see why it wouldn't work in this case.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I may not even need a variance, to be honest with you. You see any problems with that, Mike, as far as if it was 2 single families?
I don't personally have a problem with it. I would defer though to Ian and his,
He's kind of got
more expertise.
So I do have side yards of 6 feet, front and rear 20. On the words. Sorry.
I guess.
I mean, would Steve have a problem if we came a little closer to your house?
Well, right now where the stakes are at, that's like 10 feet farther over than anyone who's ever said it has put it in the past. I mean, everyone, even when Leo was living there, Grandma Jean owned it probably like, well, here's your lot line, here's where it's at. I'm not debating, maybe that is, but I mean, have it be, like from here to the table is farther over than what it was before. And I've been maintaining for 15 years. Yeah. Now, if you build a single family home there, just put a nicer one or a smaller, a 3-bedroom ranch, like I'm not a 2-bedroom and it's a shack. Because I don't have the money to fix it up anymore due to Act 10. Thank you, Scotty Walker. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to give it in my property.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, would you, because your neighbor would be closer if it was 2 single families than it is.
Okay, so where the front stakes are at right now.
I honestly don't know where the front.
Okay, well, you're right where Lori is, right? Right across the street. You got the fire hydrant right there.
Right.
Just about 2 feet left of the fire hydrant is where they told me the property was always.
Okay.
Well, your stake is like another 8 feet farther my direction.
Farther to the east?
Yeah. No, sorry, farther to the west. Towards my house. So any closer, it's like, yeah, I'd have an issue with that.
Just,
Well, your house is on the east side.
if you don't mind if I.
I'm sorry, east side. Yes, you're correct. Yes.
Interject for a second. My name is Jason Campbell. I'm an investor, did projects in Belleville. I'm actually not part of this project, but from what I understand, from what Belleville's goal is to have affordable living. That's a big push for the community. If we do what was just presented, each house is going to be 550 to 500,000, 500,000, 550 in there. And it's really not affordable living. It's not kind of what, from my understanding, what the planning commission was looking for. So I'm just wanting a little bit of feedback from you guys, what you're thinking. It seems like the density would be more of 2 houses instead of 1 with a 0 lot line.
Is there any reason, not being a thing, that people don't build 3-bedroom ranch houses anymore? They're 1,400 square feet, counting half the basement like mine is. They have to be these 2-story, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, whatever.
I was told it's cheaper to build up than wide. But there's a lot of people that don't want a 2-story because they want to spend their years in their house and not have to go somewhere
My
else.
parents are in there right now. They try to find a place like that. And they got a 2-story, but basically you drive in the driveway and everything's on the ground floor. The basement's completely finished, but yeah, it's elderly, beautiful, it's in Grant County, so.
What is the minimum lots?
So the minimum lot if you split that lot in half and you went to both and you changed the zoning to single family high density for both lots, the minimum lot size is 6,000. So technically, if I'm reading this right, and once again, I am not the village planner, I am the clerk. But if I'm reading this right, you could technically put 2 single family homes in that one, but you were saying with them having, they would have a less yard per.
Yeah, I think it'd be, from this calculation for the engineers, it's like 6,200 square feet on the west side, and the east side is 5,400 square feet. So it might need a variance as far as dipping under the 6,000 square feet to make that work.
So
The minimum lot size is 6,000 square feet.
So what Ian has on his memo in July, and I don't know if that's.
Looking at that.
Because he has lot 1 at 6,611, 6,611, and lot 2 at 6,612. Which would both, like I said, for a single family high density, would technically, we would have to revert back. I would imagine we're gonna have to revert back to square one though, if we're gonna go in this direction.
What does that mean when you say square one?
That means okay, because what you've got an application in for is the 0, is different than what, and I can't speak to, I could be wrong, because once again, Ian's not here and he knows this way better than I do, and I just send the notifications and write the minutes, but I'm assuming we can't approve because it's not on the agenda tonight, we couldn't approve a rezone tonight to single family high density. We would have to come back after, hold a whole new plan, a whole new public hearing.
I mean, I would be willing to talk to Ian about that,
Yeah.
you know, to appease everybody and hopefully to make it work.
Okay.
You know, and then if we have to do a whole nother public hearing, if that's basically 2 months, can we get that down to 1 month so we can do the next?
We can, you and I can work, we can work. Yeah, you and I can talk about it because
I mean, I'd be willing to take a look at that, if that
'Cause-
makes the neighbors happy and if we can get this.
okay, yeah, I think we can work with you to make sure. I'm not,
So according,
I mean, I think it's a good suggestion, person.
according to this, and I'm looking at the July letter. Just here's some, the two lots, they're 49, they're 50 feet wide. Didn't you say it was 132 feet?
Yeah, I misspoke on that,
Yeah,
but they're 132 feet wide.
well, not the,
According to the.
no,
it's 100 feet wide.
the map that we
Just under
got, the
100,
certified survey map is, is 249.92 foot lots across the front.
32 along the side.
yes.
It's got the whole lot of the 100 foot.
The back.
Yeah,
So
so
But it's not wide.
it's 100 feet wide and 132 feet deep.
I think you might have your numbers reversed.
Because like my real estate agent sent me the schematics for my lot and mine's like 100 and whatever.
Depth is 132, width is 100 at the road.
I thought it was the same.
We're looking at it, you know, I got it up here.
Yeah, no, I can see what,
So is there any chance that if this is gonna go into a direction of having two single families on that lot, can we, the village, the group that live on Village and associated with it, can we see what that looks like? Because I can't visualize how you put two houses on that lot. I mean, I can see a duplex that's just gonna be wide. I don't know how you put two on there. I don't know how that works. Could there be like a map put on the minutes or something online?
I mean, we always attach all the applications required. That kind of stuff. So anything new that comes back would have.
yeah, I would be willing to talk to Ian and see what we can. I'd have to come up with the house design to fit on that lot, because really at 50 feet minus 12 feet, gives you a 38-foot wide house, 16-foot garage, 2-car garage. I mean, I'd love to build a 1-car garage like Steve has, but it just would be marketable.
Right, and
You know, and concrete unfortunately is the biggest cost. So, you know, everybody goes up because it's cheaper. That's why they do it. You don't see too many ranches in an Alverdian subdivision.
Well, you can bring prefab
It's-
houses in. I'm not talking double wide trailer.
Yeah,
You
no,
get a
it's-
Home or some of those.
Yeah, no, I mean, those are decent homes too, but.
job to plan a,
Right,
Right,
plan of
We just zone it.
construction, we just own it.
right.
right.
But you know, if you had a shared driveway down the middle, I don't know if that requires a conditional use permit or anything or whatever.
Can I make a comment? So it's, just to be clear, I'm understanding it. It's like the houses behind Piggly Wiggly. It's basically condos with a 0 lot line. It's a duplex.
Yeah.
But it's all each owned by each half.
That's cool.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a Maple Circle. Those are, I think,
Yeah.
some of those are. I think they're, I don't know if they're all 0 out, but most of them are.
and we don't really have issues with that area of town. So.
So you'd still either way would have two separately owned homes. It just would be
Not connected.
attached.
I mean, I would be willing to delay it for a month and talk to Ian.
If that's
I mean,
what you're comfortable with, I mean, what we have in front of us is what we would have to vote on tonight, which is a zero lot line duplex.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
so, if you're okay with waiting a month, we can either, you
would
know,
have to
bring
be-
this back
I
next
can-
I mean,
as it is.
It's not gonna be in October, it'll have to be November.
Only because I have noticing deadlines and the noticing deadline for October's meeting is tomorrow, 10 a.m. So, and Ian's not back till Monday.
Like noticing
For like for the
It's just
newspaper.
not possible.
anything's possible, Gabe.
That one,
What's that?
that one.
I mean, I have,
Unless you get him,
Was that,
unless you get him at 10.
Ian comes back on Monday, I talked to Ian on Monday.
No, because she has to send. it to the
my
paper
deadline for the paper is tomorrow. So we're, just to make sure I'm being clear, we're talking about a new rezone application to go from, instead of what we have tonight, which would be what's it's zoned now, to single family high density.
Single family high density.
It would be single family high density to build 2 homes in that spot that are separated. So if you could,
Which I create a little zoning island that
Yeah, I would. You probably wouldn't have a hard problem with that because you can't just create one just in the middle of nowhere. And that's not allowed in our comprehensive plan, so you're gonna have to amend the comprehensive plan too, which is other noticing requirements. And then the village board has to approve that now.
well, the village board has to approve a rezone either way.
It's a process.
that would make it December.
Oh,
No, you can,
no, we do
you
it,
can do the comp plan and the rezone at the same,
you know, it's the comp primary goal.
but that just guarantees it's.
I. Responsible.
My personal, you know, I live in a part of town that has, you know, the other cul-de-sac of mine has these type of buildings. I know people in Oregon that live in a subdivision like this. I see no problem with the 0 lot line duplex. You know, beyond a bunch of, you know, uncertainties of you can't predict the future and who's ever going to live in it. So and that is not something that we are to decide. We're not here to decide the future. We're here to decide what, you know, what is allowed for a building. So I guess, Jim, what are your thoughts? Do you want to?
Well, if you call for a vote right now, I'll probably end up on the short end of the stick. So I think what I'm gonna say is I will talk to Ian on Monday. Come back. See what he says, and he's obviously got more knowledge than most of us on this matter, and that's what happens. I mean, what Larry says makes sense. And if we can do it, that's what I'd like to do. Can't do it, Ian will probably tell us we can't do it for whatever reason it is.
Then you'll just bring us back to see.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I think it's a good idea, and I'll look into it. How's that sound?
If you're comfortable with it,
Yeah.
I am too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anyone else?
All right. Thank you.
Tables or anything?
No, you don't, but just. Hey, Jim.
All right. All right. All right. Where's the?
And if you end up voting no, they state exactly what it was.
Right.
Can you say that in louder?
So FYI, if you do end up voting no on anything that commission wants, you have to state exactly what ordinances you are saying no to. What ordinance or law does it break?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Number 6 is a conditional use permit application for 3 East Main Street. Presentation first.
Hey, guys, I'm
That's okay. I jumped ahead on you.
things at once. I don't believe Scott's here. So as this is the summer of the beer garden conditional use permit, this is where we are. This is the last and final one, the one for the dam bar where we're taking his beer garden application permit and moving it to the conditional use permit. So we don't have to keep rehashing this every year. It's very, it's mostly similar to all the other ones, except You'll notice that Ian provided comments specifically for the beer garden, and also there was a letter that went to the property owner, just because there's some compliance issues, but we can talk about that. As we,
The applications for basically Dan Bar's Beer Garden. So I'm gonna open a public hearing. So I now open the public hearing at 6:47 PM.
okay, so the public hearing notice was published in the Post Messenger Recorder on August 21st and 28th, and I've included the affidavit of publication as part of the agenda packet. It was also posted at Village Hall, Belleville Public Library, and on the Village of Belleville website on Friday, September 5th.
Anyone here wishing to speak?
I have no one signed up for this public hearing.
None? I have to read this 3 times. Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? And I'll close the public hearing at 6:48. Yeah. At least it ran a minute. All right, so discuss, consider conditional use permit request authorizing the beer garden at 3 East Main Street. So we've got staff comments and a compliance letter.
To be honest, the building's been in non-compliance for years, in my opinion. And
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, we're aware well of the non-compliance of that building for years.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason when Ian inspected the beer garden as part of his writing his memo and stuff, he had to include the non-compliance issues with the building, even though those probably aren't necessarily Scott's responsibility.
Well, that was gonna be my comment. I mean, they're really 2 separate issues here, but they really do kind of meld into one, because a lot of there are several of the issues that were in Ian's compliance letter have to deal with the entrance to the dam bar to get into the beer garden. And so, I mean, he's had a beer garden there for years. I understand that, but I think my personal opinion is until that building gets fixed, I'm not sure that, we grant that beer garden. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud here. I could be wrong, but
So I believe
Which,
recommended that they're kind of mutually exclusive.
yeah, I mean, that was the recommendation, was to kind of exclude certain things, in being aware that they are the property owner's responsibility versus the renters. And the renter is the one requesting the beer garden permit. So now I don't have the exact list in front of me, but the ones that come to mind that were of a concern for the renter is the placement of the refuse containers, which are those shared by the renters is my question.
Yes.
So that is probably the owner's responsibility to take care of those then,
I would assume so.
because they were in the right of way. Some that I believe Scott at the Dam Bar could take care of are making sure that the vent is kept clear. Because that is something that he has in place for, his cooking apparatus and things in his area. The specific fence support was an issue that could use some repair. And then the rear entrance door, I don't know whose that is entirely, but it's the back entrance to the, so I guess there's some debate on who's responsible for that. Oh, and then there's a leak in the roof.
In the last, if you look at the second page of the letter that regarding this, it talks about other items and he talks about that there's culpability, is it under what culpability Mr. Ringenberg has regarding the majority of these violations due to his business being a tenant of the property, so.
And there's a need for signage.
Yeah.
Basically saying closes at midnight.
So does he currently operating under his old beer garden license or that's,
So he was granted because Ian has the ability to grant a temporary use permit. Yeah, so he was granted one until tonight, basically.
okay. I mean, at what point do we get, if we grant this tonight and and the property owner doesn't take care of the long list of items that Ian has in his compliance letter,
Right.
When does that become a problem then? Because
Well-
it really affects that whole building, so.
Ian does mention here that the use in the area will be inspected annually by the zoning administrator. So, does that mean that the next inspection, when nothing, when something gets worse or new things come up, we potentially, what happens then?
I mean, I can't,
Clearly,
I wish
we
you-
have to do something with the landowner and the rest of the building.
Right.
too. But
and obviously that's been a struggle for staff.
Years.
Yeah. And we are currently still attempting.
There's a process though for that compliance, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Enforcement might be difficult, but there is a process. So annually inspected, but like this should be addressed within the course of that time frame, which is outside of what we do, I think, but
But I'm all for the beer garden there, but I just have so many concerns about that building. And like I said, they've been that way for years. That building has just fallen in such disrepair over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years that
I know when they do the fire inspections, that the only place that passes is the bar. And I heard that from the fire inspector. So that's the reason the bar is okay because he's the one that's done all the he's redone everything down there. So doesn't seem fair to punish him,
no, I agree.
but how do we,
get,
that was my same thought. Yeah, he could punish the business owner who's trying to do a good job, if doesn't own the property.
So,
let's be honest, the renters up above pay their rent to him and then whenever she comes around, he hands it to her. He's pretty much in charge of the place.
my concern for the beer garden and whether or not this would be approved is the general safety of certainly the people there. And I don't know if you, it's the safety of everybody. It's Scott's job to make sure that the people attending his business are safe also. So the things that he can control, I think it would probably not be unreasonable to maintain the safety of his patrons when they're there. So, and I guess the one that is of question is, which to me is which is the door, the back door to the dam bar that,
I think the fan too.
well, yeah, the fan,
We could-
I mean, that's, that one, I'm on board, that's Scott's responsibility.
Maybe we give him a list that's his responsibility. Can we do that?
Well, per Ian's comments, it's signage, inspections annually, and, inspected by fire and police also. So, I would add into that, that the vent gets cleared, the fence support, it's taken care of.
My recommendation would be to motion to delay table until he is here to answer those questions.
Yeah.
I don't think you are able to answer these questions without him there.
Yeah.
Because if he says, I'm not fixing these, then that's something that you guys need to be taken into account. Or if he says, yeah, I'm going to work. Yeah, I think you just need him to be here to be able to.
Well,
Move
and
on.
my question, my next,
I'm not sure
have we gotten any response from the property owner at all to this compliance letter?
I want to say no. I'm pretty sure
Probably
the last one we sent via certified mail got returned undeliverable.
It'd be, yeah, I think your best motion really is to motion to table. Because he should really be here. And if he's not, then I think that speaks volumes as well.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of shocked he's not, but all right, well, I'll make that motion to table to the whatever our next meeting date is.
April to
So
October.
then Ian will just extend that regarding.
Is that
Is it
your guys'
to do that?
recommendation? Just
Yeah.
extend that until.
And
Yeah.
the table. I'll second Gary's motion.
All right. Motion by Gary, seconded by Debbie. Any other discussion, thoughts? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I think just for my recommendation, like if you guys look the last, like Jim Olson's one, I think tabling probably is your best bet if you're not safe. That way there is a motion on the floor about what's going on. That way we can recall it a lot easier and then just safer legally just to say table until next time. Not that you did anything wrong, I just probably just did better.
Well, with that one, Gabe, I'm gonna fetch you because he's gonna have to come back with.
Yeah, but you still need to make a decision on that because it's an application.
I would consider that application withdrawn.
I wouldn't. Always table,
Okay, come back.
but you still need to make a recommend, always table.
Okay. Now that that is tabled. Item number 7, comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning application for Bell West Lot 24.
Yeah, so this is technically the village's application. The
Is, I would say the application had come in from. Yeah,
So this is the village's application.
on this.
We don't own it yet.
Well, we'll
We two own it. This is one of our TID lots on the west side. You have already rezoned lot 25.
3.
What?
23.
23, sorry, to this, to what they've asked here.
It's all money.
As the village board has already made decisions on selling this lot to Akela for her business. The village board's already in dealing. And it is their recommendation and staff's recommendation just to follow along with that last, rezone this to.
So 23 is the one on the corner, 24 is the one to the east then,
Yeah,
right?
the one that the village is in negotiations.
The numbers are so small in here.
Yeah, just for you, Gary.
I know. Well, then I'd make a motion to approve.
But we gotta have a public
Oh, I'm sorry.
couple, we gotta,
So that was the presentation.
Sorry.
we'll get there, don't worry.
So we have a public hearing for parcel.
Okay, and just to be clear, we're having 2 public hearings on this lot 1 to amend the comprehensive plan, which we did do for lot 23, and then we'll have a second public hearing specifically for the rezone because.
Not that I don't expect to approve the comp plan, but if you choose not to, then the rezone just ends.
Right.
The conversation's done.
we can skip it, but that's not a reason to.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that process wise.
Oh, I'm going to open the public hearing at 7:02 PM for the request to amend the comprehensive plan, future land use map to be changed from BP Business Park to BG General Commercial District.
There's, the public hearing was published in the Post Messenger Recorder on 8/14 and 8/21. And I've included that affidavit of publication. It was also posted at those places I mentioned before on Friday, as we do.
From the public wishing to speak.
I have no one signed up for this one.
Are there any other comments? Any other comments? Are there any other comments?
There's your minute long.
That's why I gotta go slow. And I'll close the public hearing at 7:03 PM.
So this is the resolution we write when we change the comp plan. As per how we do it.
Per law.
Yeah, so, I guess what I'm looking for his,
So now I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2025-10.
By Gary,
I'll second.
Give it somebody else a chance.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now open the public hearing at 7:03 for the rezoning of parcel plat 24 from BP Business Park to BG General Commercial District.
okay, same thing on the public hearing posting. I did it.
Any public participation?
I have no one signed up for this public hearing.
Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? Any other comments? Seeing none. I close this public hearing at 7:04 PM. Discuss, consider approval of zoning lot 23.
It should be 24.
Yeah, it's 24.
Sorry.
I opened the hearing correctly.
I might have, and I'm not saying I did it and copied and pasted from the previous agenda. I don't know. But the application. Pretty sure the parcel number is correct. Maybe it's not.
Parcel number is the same,
Oh, it's 44, correct.
ending in 5231.
I'm sorry, it's not. It should be the 5341. It's been a couple of months. I don't drink.
I'll make a motion that we approve the rezoning of parcel number, so we have it in case it's not, 0508-3330-534-1 from BP Business Park to BG General Business District.
Get that.
Gary, second by Larry. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Item number 8, moving right along. The final plat application for Badger Trails Phase 1.
Just brought everything for pet cows. We use it.
As well, huh?
So while he's setting it, did this have to be noticed to the neighbors like
The
the,
final plots do not need to be noticed.
So, good evening, folks, members of the audience, decided to stay. Jeff Lincoln held with Arc Design Resources. As you know, I've been here for several years, working on various, improvements to the community. The last one being Badger Trail subdivision on this, that kind of the south end of town off of Greenview Drive right here. If you recall, earlier this summer, we approved a tentative plat for this neighborhood and rezoning and all that. The entirety of the development is shown, highlighted on top of this farm field. And what we're gonna focus on, this is the plat one area. So I'll turn it over here. A little bit closer for Gary.
That I can see.
There you go.
Tiny curtains.
The blue lots, just to, as a refresher, were the lots that we upsized to, medium density size, as a kind of a concession or a negotiation. The orange lots are the ones that remain the high density lots. Green here being the wetland area and buffer. This green area is public park area with a wet pond, for detention. So it'll be a permanent pool, if you will. Kids can go fishing there, whatever. The discharge from this goes down Greenview Drive to the next detention area further over here. Clive Street is a right of way that's been dedicated ever since this neighborhood was built. The street was never stubbed. So we'll be stubbing that street in as our second means of access. We do have the stub for Vine going north at some date if it becomes, viable for the Francois property to be redeveloped. And we have the 20-foot wide green strip buffer outlot. That was another kind of negotiation point during our preliminary. So we submitted this to the village staff. We submitted a full engineering plans to staff. We are rapidly working through the rest of the comments from engineering. We don't really have any issues with the engineer's comments. One thing that staff did ask is that we reach out and try and get a pedestrian connection to Badger Trail. And so we have made contact with the DNR liaison who is in charge of the Badger State Trail. Have not heard back, but we have reached out trying to see what they would need for approval of that.
Do they have any say in where that might be located? I mean, it makes sense to me to have that just because otherwise people are gonna make their own.
It'll become like, just a little.
It'll become like a deer
path,
path, but
yes,
stupid path, so.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they may have we had to cross it, a similar trail in Lake Mills. And they wanted to have the connection, but they were required to be gravel. So it may be like a natural surface. It wouldn't be a sidewalk per se, if they go for it. So, but that's utterly up to them.
Yep.
And all we can do is extend to our property. If they say, yeah, build a little gravel, we would definitely just take that on as a betterment for the people living here. So, I guess from a presentation standpoint, I have no issues with you guys, recommending approval, as long as we satisfactorily resolve the engineer's comments. Because we can't say that we've got them all finished right now, but we don't have any issues.
Right, there was quite a laundry list.
Yeah. That's as long as, that's the longest letter I think I've seen from them in a while, but
Kevin is online if you have any questions about this.
It's all nitpicky stuff.
Kevin, you got any comments you'd like to share?
that's what we paint.
No, I would agree. I would agree with Jeff. A lot of them are just, pretty standard, I guess, first review type comments, if you want to call it that. Like you said, he pointed out that one, and then there's probably the other large one is the stormwater, because there's a bunch of water that flows through the site, so they just have to deal with that as well. So they were that was some of the comments in there as well. But there was nothing that I think the only other item, and we'll know more, I guess, tomorrow night, but this has to get approved. The whole development has to be approved by CARPC. So that's and that was part of our comment on here as well, because there's this one area where we're not having sidewalk because of the 75-foot wetland setback. But, we're gonna find out tomorrow night or, Thursday night on the CARPC. So it has to go through that approval as well.
I got an email from somebody saying that page 43, that the plan's supposed to discharge some kind of like maybe rainwater into the Ross Crossing Creek. It said refer to page 43 is what it says.
Probably of the attachment, right?
Well, maybe. The stormwater does, the issue that Kevin was referring to is the church over here dumps underneath the trail into the wetland area. Once the wetland fills up, it comes down to this corner here, dumps into our storm pipe through the pond and then out the pond and over. What his comments to us were was like, hey, you need to reevaluate how you're routing the stormwater through the wetland area and make sure you're accounting for that properly. I think we're going to model the wetland as like a quasi detention basin, and this is like getting way into the weeds, quote unquote. But if we model this as a sump, then it would actually then fill up and then drain over. And so my guy Michael's working on that right now. But this shows up a few of the houses here. So we come out, we actually come into the street. And then we tie into a storm line, like right here, coming, I forget what this is not Fourth, but, there's a manhole at this intersection, and then we pick up existing pipe and that dumps into this detention pond for this neighborhood. And then it dumps into this wetland area. So we're not touching there's no direct connection to any wetland over here to the east. We come down the street to the corner, and then our discharge connects to this pipe that's already in the ground. That makes sense. Sure.
And is it the CARPC study that determines if the existing pipe you're connecting to can handle the volume and that kind of stuff, or what?
No, that's part of our work.
Okay.
CARPC's trying to get this land area annexed into your sanitary sewer service district.
Question. We live on the end of East Avenue. We constantly have flooding stuff.
On the far end, further down?
Yeah, well, when you were saying it was going into the pump, gonna tap into the golden sewer system. Is that what you just said?
Yes. There's a 24-inch storm sewer line. At this corner, it comes down like two more houses and dumps into this detention area right here.
Then that goes down.
That goes down into this vacant property.
And then where does that go to the sewer plant? How does it get to the sewer plant?
Oh,
It doesn't.
the sanitary sewer is different.
Different,
That's all
yeah.
underground and
Oh, no.
pipes.
Okay.
Stormwater.
Yeah, stormwater. Yeah.
Because we have,
Yep. Sewer backups you have? Sanitary, like
Uh-huh.
We've
we've had it, yeah,
sanitary sewer backups, really?
uh-huh. We've had it.
talk to.
What's your address?
him.
We're on the corner of East Avenue and Pearl. We're the ones that got dumped on so badly and are now in floodplain, and we can't even sell our house. We lost our cars, we lost everything when the Sugar River flooded.
Well, that's stormwater.
That's
That's stormwater.
Right, but the sewer pipes, the sewer,
That was when,
oh, that was during
that was when
we had the gas issue.
the gas issue, when.
But we have trouble,
Gasoline.
we have trouble with our driveway always getting flooded with runoff water.
Okay, so flooding is stormwater. If your sewer's backing up, that's or that's sanitary sewer, yeah. Okay. Okay.
But I'm more wondering about the runoff, because.
So the runoff from this development is going into this pond and will be controlled release. So the pond will fill up. And then it slowly gets released into this downstream.
Be similar to the one that's up at the high school. I mean, it stands in there forever and then it slowly.
Yeah, although this would be like on a sunny day, like this week, this would be just a pond.
Right,
A pond.
right.
And then there's, this much before it would overtop. So
Okay.
there's this much volume above the
So it is
top
different. Okay,
to store the stormwater.
all right.
So our water, we're obligated by law to restrict the runoff to basically the same as the existing farm condition. If that makes sense. So we do that by holding it in a big tank and letting it go on a stroke.
Another note in the email is, please note that the MSA water report we refer to is out on the village's website in draft rather than final form. It's lengthy, but pay particular attention to page 18 and pages 23 through 26 for some key deficits and needed improvements that need to be made by the village to support the development. These areas would make good main points.
Main thing in the water report is fire flow, so.
I think that's what she's referring to, because I
Yeah.
read too, and that's kind of what I was gathering.
Yeah,
But if there's
that's
a
me.
fire, then they're not gonna have a lot of water.
Looping and fire flow and all that kind of stuff, so. But again,
Wanted me to
this,
bring it up, so I did.
yeah,
Yeah, is the MSA report something for,
Well, it's just, well, as we have all this other new development, what's,
got it. So anyways, back to page 2. So we're really saying we're kind of following what we approved earlier this year. And this is our first phase. I think it's 44 lots. First phase, a lot of green space in the first phase, as you can see. The next would kind of come around the backside here.
so you're looking 5 phases here, right? Or is that what?
That's what we were thinking.
Yeah, okay.
We're down to, well, as you know, we started with like 200.
Right.
We're down to around 200. So if we did 40 to 50 each, yeah, it's gonna be 4 to 5 phases. Depends on how fast they sell. Oh, side note, they just listed a single family house in Baker's Woods for 330,000. 2-car garage, 2-story, 3-bedroom. So I know Mr. Olson was talking about everything's $500,000. But they're trying to keep things reasonable.
So I just had one other question on for the development, because I've been following this. What is the impact going to be on our local schools? We're already, schools are really,
That's a question for
You wanna-
the school district.
Share this one, or
I
you
meet,
met with,
I meet with the superintendent monthly, and then the village president and I meet with them quarterly with their superintendent or with their district administrator, whatever, board president. So we're in constant contact on that end, so they're well aware of all the development going on.
in our most recent quarterly meeting, they mentioned that enrollment has been steady despite the growth that has happened in the village. So that's what we know about the schools. The enrollment has been steady. It's not declining like I guess is happening in most parts of the state. So
To be very honest, I graduated in 82. And I don't think our student population is a whole lot more than it was back in those days. I was in small class. I had big classes on both sides of me. I don't know, Vicky, how many do you have in your class? Okay, so you were a big class. I was 39. So I honestly don't think,
our kids were 23 and 32.
yeah, so I just don't think the classes are that much bigger going on right now.
Graduating class was, I think, at 74. Pretty sure my son's class, he's a sophomore, is it around
you
79?
can get into all
But
different reasons why that might be.
applied as
So, yeah. So
Just the question I had when I've been
Yep.
following this online.
I meet quarterly with
It
the
was starting to
school.
get
So
crowded when our kids were there. That was 20 years ago.
they tell us enrollment's been steady. So.
Is there any other questions of the board?
Yeah.
How many houses are we at now?
44.
Still,
Like total?
Because we asked them to reduce, what are we down to?
I believe it's just over 200.
2 or 3.
Yeah, the prelim plat was approved at 203.
Yep. Any other comments?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
With this development in the west side, how is our sewer system reacting to this? Is there gonna be capacity?
We are at half capacity now, so yes.
We're doing a sewer study next year, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So currently at 50% capacity, so we could double, in theory, double the size, the population of the village and still meet the needs. There's a study being done next year on the total impact and what needs to happen with what's projected over the next, 10 years or something?
Yeah, when we expanded the plant in 2007,
Yeah.
it was, we had a capacity of about 5,000 people was the number given. So we're still under 3 right now, so.
Yeah.
We need a motion.
Last chance. Motion. You want to make the motion?
I can.
All right, go
I
for it,
move
Gary.
that, we approve the final plat application, for White Oak Builders LLC Badger Trail subdivision phase. With contingent upon all the, items in the letter from the, planning or from zoning administrator, on dated September 10th and from MSA dated October 22nd.
Second.
A second.
Beat you to it.
Or did you beat it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were looking for a second. I thought I said, is there a second?
Yeah, well, that's one of the items there. Yeah. So. Okay, any other discussion? Have you had a question answered? Anyone else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
When is the council meeting? Next meeting?
On Monday.
Monday. Next Monday?
Oh, yeah. it's up
Or
to-
this coming Monday?
Village board, all the 15th, yes.
At 6?
Yeah, correct. Hey,
You mind if I call in on that one?
I don't know. You can call in.
I like to come up, but
Love seeing you.
I'm gonna be up in Hayward.
Oh, yeah, that's a,
We need to meet up there.
Yeah, that'd be a little better. So.
Little cocktail.
Yeah, I know some nice spots up there, so yeah.
I guess that's up to you if you want to leave the words or not.
I could actually leave them, yeah. I mean, you guys could.
Might be a good idea just to,
I mean, I wasn't really, feel like we're just kind of following along, so, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll-
And just a reminder that all plats, you approve the preliminary plat, and then he will come back every time we need to approve each of this phases. You will have opinion, you will get the opportunity to view each as we go through.
No matter what it goes through, because we've already approved it.
Well, as long as it matches kind of, and if CARPC has issues, if engineers have issues, that kind of stuff, or roads, we find out, stuff like that, there's rooms to change it. It's just. It has to be based on specific. So yes, there's room. It's just. Like, I don't like that this house is here.
you can't argue that, but
It's gotta be
if
big.
MSA has issues with the next phase or whatever with,
We say,
where it's gonna go or.
So we're noticed why, so we listen to them.
like, hey, we've noticed a lot of flooding, all right? So that way when we need to change, whatever.
Or, yeah, your detention pond from your preliminary is not big enough, so now I need to lose a lot. to
Lose
make
a lot
my
or two, yeah. Right.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Moving on. Item number 9. Site plan application for Baker's Wood Lot 97.
Yeah, so this is, there are other lot that we, remember when we approved, that phase, the next phase that they're building the duplexes in now. We approved the single family, we approved that commercial lot, we approved the single family. Now, this is the multifamily lot that you have approved the zoning for. So the zoning part's done, you've approved that. Now this is their concept to put into that multifamily. Oh, yeah.
So this is on Highway 6992. And Tyler Street is the new access point into Bell West and Baker's Woods that we did the interior development. The village has just finished their roadway project out here with the turn lanes and such. So that's where this street is at, right on the edge of this property. Obviously, the aerial photo shows all woods, but this is where the street right of way is at. And then Bell West Boulevard comes up here, and you know, this will extend all the way down to the Quick Trip. This is our commercial lot on this corner opposite, and the multifamily lot that we had in the various preliminary and zoning issues. So, oh, I did bring the building style with me there with you guys. There's front and back. This is what the units look like as far as, I think I had enough for everybody.
We're good at sharing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't bought yet.
I'll submit one for the record, I guess. These ladies, you guys can share one too, since you've been sitting here all day listening to me. As you might recall, or the intent is that this is going to be a rental community, single owner. These are like 1,500 square foot units with single car garage, driveway in front, some supplemental parking, some little pavement flares here. We did show in our site plan submittal to the village that we can get a fire truck through this route here. We were able to work with the DNR and amend our active permits for Baker's Woods to include the necessary sewer and water extensions in here. So they just kind of like said like, okay, well, you were doing 2,000 feet of water main. Now we'll just add 400 or whatever. And so they just worked with us to add that in as part, instead of having to go through the whole permit process again. So we're good to go there. Again, engineering comments are pretty much all taken care of. There was a comment about the 50-foot highway setback line for Wisconsin DOT. And admittedly, we interpreted that as a building setback, but MSA correctly pointed out that it's actually more restrictive than that. And so like these patios and air conditioners back here, we had to condense the middle slightly to move these buildings up a little bit to just keep everything out of the 50-foot highway setback. So it did scrunch down a little bit in the middle, but still fine. There's nobody behind this guy. I mean, he's just got the driveway, so it's all good. Yeah, I don't know. We did that. We did incorporate a trash enclosure here as one of the staff comments.
So even with having to scrunch that down, that's fire department's still fine, or it's still wide enough.
He's still good. It's really a function. The roadway alignments didn't change. It's really a function of can he make this turn?
Okay.
And he can't. So what we lost in here was just a little bit of space on the straightaway. They are going to irrigate this, so there will be full irrigation, lawn sprinklers to keep everything green. We've got a little mailbox in here. I worked with Belleville postmaster. He's good with having the mailman zip into the driveway and then zip back out, go back delivering the rest. There's a drainage way here. This area to the northeast of us is city proper village property. That's that open area between us and the Jim Olson complex. The one thing that I don't have resolution on is we emailed the Wisconsin DOT about trees within the 50-foot setback. We're assuming that they don't have a problem with trees, but I mean,
Let's assume.
well, again, the fact that every freaking state highway's got, nobody went and clear cut trees for 100 feet either side of the highway, so. But we have kept all the buildings and all the other improvements are outside. So basically, it's single owner, white oak. Rental community. We talked rents last time, I think a month ago, when we kind of brought this up as a teaser. They're gonna be in the 1,800 range. I would imagine.
Remind me, how many bedrooms?
2 bedrooms and like an office. What they're, then when they submit the building plans.
Yeah, so when we move,
These are some examples from Illinois. There's the outside the same, they're kind of tweaking the inside a little bit.
when I first moved to Madison, it was across from Baker Tilly near Sun Prairie. It was 2 bed, 2 bath for 1,900. So
Oh.
that's the,
So
that's the,
if I say 18, maybe I'm low.
no, I'm just saying that's,
Don't come back at me and say,
I'm just saying that's the, it's in the realm of what market is actually.
So, so I'm looking at the side elevations on both the 3-unit and the 4-unit. So no windows at all on those side units, on the side elevations?
They're basically so they can, I don't know, it's again. We talked about affordability.
This is Josh from White Oak. How's it going?
Hey,
I
Josh.
can answer that. So if you were to look at the floor plan, I mean, most of that is all stair wall on the
Okay.
side elevation. So the stairs are going up the side there, so it's hard to put any windows on that side there.
Okay.
And then speaking about rents on something like that, you know, just with the 1,500 square foot, I mean, I would think that they would be closer to probably 1,500 to 1,600 a month, just because of the square foot, the 2-bed, 1.5 bath. I don't think you're gonna get that 1,800. I mean, and that's not what we're shooting for anyways. Just trying to get a, you know, especially if some of the duplexes over that way get rented, those have, you know, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. So that'll be, you know, higher rents than something like this, you know, just because of the square foot difference and less bedrooms. So it's kind of that would be our plan.
Let's just say 1,500 to 2,000 so that nobody's surprised or like, you know, you said this and it's really that. So, you know.
So, the distance between each building, is that sufficient for, I mean, is the fire department okay with that? I mean, does it have to be?
We meet the minimum standards for if it was actually separate lots. Like if there was a lot line here,
Yeah.
we meet that minimum distance.
Yeah, which is,
Like 12 feet.
yeah.
Where's the fire hydrant?
You can't see it on this map, but I've got a fire hydrant, actually on the end of the street. And then the water main comes in and it ends here and then it loops around and I've got a hydrant on this corner as well, back to the street. I got one here, one here. And then there's also one out here in the road.
Yes, that's there's one.
Kevin's got his hand up.
Kevin's got a comment.
I don't know if he has it on purpose.
I do. While you're talking about the utilities, Jeff, the one comment we had, I guess, are the utilities going to be, are they private or are they going to be public? Because if they're going to be maintained by the village, we just need an easement too.
Yes, they're going to be public. Good thing we didn't submit an easement document, Kevin, because we had to ship this building up. But yes, we intend these to be public sewers with water services so that, you know, you guys don't have to worry about lack of maintenance. We will dedicate the appropriate easements probably through just a plat of easement on lot 97. We'll get that paperwork processed before you guys take it over. Obviously, we gotta build something.
Yep.
Otherwise you wouldn't have there's nothing for you to take over yet. And then also, Kevin, since you're on, your one comment that we are not going to address with some regarding street lighting, we just using the front garage lights, off porch lights as our lighting. We're not proposing any street lights within this development.
Okay, I'd have to check with Ian on that. I know he had that in his comments too, so I'm not sure.
Maybe it was his
I just-
comment. I know there was a street light comment, please provide a lighting plan, and we're like, well, we don't The lighting is on the building.
Is it gonna be on all the time? Because most people don't turn them on on a daily basis.
Dusk to dawn or?
Josh could answer that as the. host
Yeah,
landlord.
they're all the outside light fixtures that we use are dusk to dawn. I mean, so you would have to have the light switch on in order for them to remain on. I mean, we can wire it. So I have seen it before in developments to where they do wire those lights so they're just always on and then they go off during the day. Just the garage lights.
And the tenant unscrews the light bulb.
That's possible, but you know, I guess that would be up to us to make sure that it doesn't happen.
I do feel a street light or two would be needed. Think of the kids and people playing as well as the adults.
And walking and biking.
Able-bodied or not. Because you shouldn't have to depend on somebody else's light to be on.
You put one on each corner, just like,
I mean, there's a public street light here at Bell West Boulevard where this driveway comes out. I don't know what the village has planned for this corner. Did you guys include a street light at the intersection? I'm assuming you would have had to, because it's a intersection on a state highway, that you would want to have a light there. So you got coverage along the street.
I think we're thinking more,
Backside.
yeah, the street,
The trash bin and the end. Of
yeah, I mean,
Yes, that would be, whether it fits on ordinance or not, but
I was gonna say it's
I think my recommendation though is someone that would want to live there, I'd want at least one light, maybe it's on the parking, the supplemental parking there, that kind of provides some light, so if someone's driving through, they can see a person easier, and not, like the concern was depend on the tenants to have their lights on, and, you know, if you're walking your trash over to the trash bin the long way, you know, it's a little easier. That would just be a suggestion.
What if we did something to where instead of getting the electric, you know, like Alliant Energy involved, to where we did more like in those gables up there, like we could do more like a spotlight up there that comes out at night on, you know, a few of the buildings that would actually, I mean, those LEDs are pretty bright, but
Would assume it would suffice, you know, I'd have to review the ordinances to make sure that's okay with, I don't know what our standards are for night dark lighting, or
There's no windows on those sides.
We don't have any side windows.
There's no windows, yeah. That's the one.
but I would think that would be a good idea, but yeah.
yeah, I just think that's something that then we could, you know, add more of them in more places along the roads in there, you know.
Could definitely put one here, shining on the parking. You could put one here that may be pointed more towards the trash.
Maybe, I mean, it's considered, and
yeah.
Or would you require it to be, you wouldn't require it to be a public street light. So like we could wire us, if we had a street light, we could wire it from one of the units. Not like necessarily on a switch, but just as a, I mean, is that, I guess I just wanted to make sure I
Who's
understand where
paying
it's
the
going.
electric bill?
So that the electric bill will be paid by Josh.
yeah, by the landlord.
Yeah, to my knowledge, Jeff, most of these are, I was just gonna say mine, from what I've seen, most of these are private, so they don't have to necessarily follow the public street lights, but it's more, you know, safety wise, putting some, you know, light on the pavement and stuff around the complexes and stuff.
Okay. Maybe I should drive through and see what Olson has over here. Does he have streetlights?
I don't know.
There's,
No.
I was thinking there was one at the intersection somewhere or something. I can't remember offhand though.
I mean, even if we could do like what Jeff was saying, to where we would be able to, you know, if we're not getting into a public street light sort of thing, I mean, I don't think it'd be too challenging for us to just direct wire something to one of or multiple units throughout the subdivision and put like a lamp out, you know, maybe on our side of the road. I guess we own, you know, so you know, to where then we're paying the bill on it, and you know, it's just connected into one of the units for the power bill. I mean, it'll be basically be so cheap, really.
And it's gonna be similar to the irrigation, where he's gonna have an landlord irrigation. He's paying that water bill.
Yeah, some light for safety, like I said, it sounds like it doesn't need to be a public light, according to Kevin. So,
It looks like
you're not gonna get much from the street lights as they are, the buildings are gonna block that. So
we'll come up with a plan that incorporate, I mean, we'll come up with a response and a plan that's, you know, incorporates some combination of whether we have always on garage lights and or a couple of strategic posts.
We need to be able to see house numbers for fire and ambulance.
Okay.
'Cause there's
There
nothing
is
worse than
street lights.
places.
Yeah, there is streetlights in the Olson development over there. There's about 4 of them, so kind of boxing out kind of the 4 intersections, if you want to call it there or whatever, on that development, so.
Well, yeah, the last thing we want is to build this and have somebody run into a problem taking the trash.
send your 10-year-old out with a bag or whatever. Your 8-year-old.
So, Abe,
Yeah.
just correct me, like, basically, since this is just a site plan approval, we're actually kind of at the end, as long as we make sure that Kevin's happy.
Yeah, as long as as long as the plan commission approves it and you follow whatever conditions they say, this is the last step. Because you guys have zoned it, as long as you guys are happy, as long as Kevin's happy, we're good.
But like I said, if we're coming in there with the ambulance or the fire truck, we need to be
And I'd say-
the house numbers.
Put it in the conditions of the.
Well, he did say in one of his letters, we came to the meeting tonight saying like, well, we're just gonna.
We have lights.
Yeah,
numbers
it's,
on
it's,
it. We need to be able to see.
his comment was a full lighting plan will be provided for staff review, so I think that's I'll make a motion just so we can. I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan application for lot 97 Baker's Woods Phase 3 multifamily. Again, with the conditions as laid out in the September 10th, 2025 letter from the village planner and the August 28th, 2025 letter from MSA.
Second.
Gary, second by Debbie. Any further discussion?
I have a question for him. You said you had to bump the first row of buildings back a little bit because of the highway. Does that mean that their lot line is right at that 50-foot mark?
No, that's the beauty of the DOT. We own the lot, but they get all the rights.
Really?
Yeah, because it's state highway. Also, thanks for putting in the path in, by the way.
And the other question, is there sidewalks then in front of these? There is not, right?
There is sidewalk.
Oh, they're on but not in front of the buildings. They're in front of the.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Did put a path in.
We don't have
The doors.
I think you guys are doing a path.
Oh, the
You have to do a
multi.
path study.
We do the multi-use path?
Do we really need the?
Kevin, dude, I don't know what's going on. The multi-use path that's on the state highway that was just put in, was that us or was that them? That's.
We put that in with improvements there for the intersection.
Yeah.
We did the sidewalk up to a certain point. You guys finished it.
To the right.
And then we've taken it actually all the way down.
Right. I rode my bike on it yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion. Any other discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we got another public hearing. Holy smokes.
Just no
We got
public.
no public.
Jeff, you gotta stick around. You've got to be our public for this next public hearing, so.
So,
I'll leave this one for Badger Trails with Gabe. I'll take the other one since we don't have anything on Monday for that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll,
Drive home safe.
yeah. I'm sure I'll be in a month or two.
Yeah, you will.
We'll be here.
Have fun in Hayward.
Yes, you need to.
Going fishing?
Good.
My college roommate's coming up to drink.
No, nothing wrong with that either.
Supposed to be 80.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
Last week put a damper on swimming. That's for sure.
Have a good time.
But I will talk to you, yeah. I'll be on Monday night and I don't, unless if there's a reason for me to be here.
I think there would be.
Oh.
And we've got
Gary, you're on the board.
Yeah, Mike, three of us.
three of us are, yeah. So. Should hopefully be okay.
We'll have a Monday night party.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Football season. What is a party?
It's different in here.
Uh,
For ordinance review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're still gonna do this.
well, just a public hearing. maybe.
All right. Okay, so I will open the public hearing for ordinance review at 7:48 PM.
So this public hearing posted, I did verify that it was posted in the Post Messenger Recorder on the 21st and the 28th, but for some reason they have not sent me that affidavit of publication yet. When I do have it, it will be available for viewing. But it was also posted on Friday in the usual spots on the agenda.
Right. Any public participation?
I have no one signed up for this.
Good. Seeing no public, I don't think there will be.
But you know what? I really want you to ask the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Go a little faster.
Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? Are there any other comments? Hearing none, I close the public hearing at 7:49.
Okay, so I know Ian provided a memo. We have to by law hold a public hearing for this before we can talk ordinance. So obviously, that's a lot of ordinance. So we're recommending that, I'm recommending that you don't make any kind of motions or anything tonight. It's up to you how much you want to talk about it, but it is yours to review and ask questions or formulate questions, bring things up for Ian, who wrote all this. And then we could go through it and approve and recommend something to the board.
Go to the finance committee.
Yes, in the order that you're supposed to, which.
Well, I have a marked up copy of the zoning code. Because there was a ton of change. That was a long read.
I'm sure.
So.
Yeah, my recommendation would be to pass on any notes you may have at this.
I will.
To Ian. So he has something to do when he comes back on Monday.
Yep.
I'm sure he's gonna be super bored otherwise.
He did text.
Print all this stuff out.
No comment.
He did text, by the way, that the Olson one, as long as he thinks the lots could fit, the rezone could happen. There's two single.
Who did? Ian?
Ian.
Yeah, here tonight.
No,
Ian's everywhere all at once.
He did re-enter the
US.
The US, yes, he's on
US.
soil, but he's obviously jet lagged, so we bugged him.
So much for them keeping him over there, so.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
On a cruise to Europe.
Yeah, North Europe. So he flew to England and then did the 10-day Scandinavian Disney cruise.
Disney cruise, yeah.
We're all very jealous.
No, not.
I am anyway. That's the cruise I'm taking in the next 5 years, so.
I'm not a cruiser. If I'm going on a boat, I want to fish.
I'll give you a full.
I better
So-
gas for a couple hundred yards.
Full admittance, I haven't read through it all. And it's
I
It's a
haven't
lot.
made it through all of it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just
I mean,
honored, for
like I said, we didn't expect you guys to approve anything tonight. It was just we have to have the public hearing in order to talk about ordinance review. We can spend the next several, if as needed, meetings going over this but just to give you what we've got and then.
Yeah, because the subdivision ordinance isn't too bad. But the other one will be and again, the erosion control and all that. That's pretty much copy and paste that from the state. So there's not a whole lot we can do on that one. But
Right. And Ian would probably, when he's back, we'll have all explain how his method is not enough.
yes. I'll give him this. He's very, and I don't know, got like 3 or 4 sections that haven't been given to anybody yet to look at, but the ones that I've read so far between all the committees, he's pretty damn thorough on these, so.
He's done a very good job.
Not his first rodeo.
I think I actually made the mistake of telling that to him personally, so, he's got a,
Oh, Gary. Oh,
I should have known better.
Moving along.
So. all right. No action except for any members to review those and make their changes, I guess.
They just take it for the next meeting.
Yeah. Motion to table in the next meeting. Second for that.
I'll second.
Second by Gary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. So what is the process we're going through for reviewing these? I guess to some extent, I feel like, Gary's the overachiever here and has read through it all and do we I feel like it should be sent like round robin around to, Gary's gone through it. He's marked it up. We make the changes and someone else goes through it. I feel like if we all just sat down and read it, we'd all find the same stuff.
Yeah, I would think so.
And would that would, just slow things down
Well,
or confuse things.
the process is when it comes gets referred out of or approved from one committee, they get approved at finance, and then finance will have to look at all 21 chapters, and then we'll make a recommendation to repeal and recreate or whatever the term is at that point. So, but
Just, I'm saying the actual detailed, dirty work of actually reading it all.
Yeah.
I did some ordinance searching today and minimum lot sizes, and I found 2 discrepancies in the zoning. One was the lot size, minimum lot size was on the back side of the lot. The other one said it had to be the front side of the lot. And there was yet another one that kind of jumbled it all together. So,
well, and
you got to be able to spot, things that are in completely different sections or paragraphs that might conflict with each other.
Yeah.
So,
and like we talked about when 2-3 months ago, we were talking about Badger Trail, we were talking about adding a conservancy district, to I think there did have something in there about a conservancy district. So, but in the new one, so. All the kind of things that we've talked about, hopefully Ian has put all those in. We should have made a list as we went along on these things, but
right. So this is in the committee member announcements, statements, and questions section, by the way. So if you did not see it, Gabe put this little email in front of us all about if we, as a planning commission, deny something, we have to state specifically what ordinance is not in compliance when denied.
so that's only if a motion fails. If somebody votes no on something, they don't have to state the reason. But if a motion fails, then we have to have a little more detail.
You just have to explain why and that give them the ability to fix it. And the why, so the reason why I want you guys to table things is one, gives nobody the ability to come back at you for, making decisions or, I want to be able to make sure you have the clearest legal standing possible. So saying we're tabling it until they can discuss with staff about best alternatives. That's perfect. But just leaving it blank. One, the next plan commission has no idea what you thought. And 2, it's like, it doesn't give them direction. Because then if you table it, then what do we do with the fees and all that kind of stuff?
If he didn't take any action and it gets lost,
Yeah.
doesn't get followed up.
That's why it just says tabling it. It forces it to come back if it has to, or if he pulls it, then the table doesn't matter. But at least it was clear what happened.
As a commission, it's our job to make sure that we're just in complying with what the ordinance and comprehensive plan says.
Yeah.
Even if we don't maybe like something, it's still.
And that's why we're reading the
It's a hard
comprehensive plan. So, if we want to change it, now's the time. Read these zoning,
If there's something that we don't like.
exactly. And if you don't like some of these ordinance stuff, change it now.
We can't have people chasing a moving target.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like Ian said in his letter on the ordinance, the zoning ordinance. Well, the zoning ordinance and the erosion control and that one, those two were really not good at all. I mean, they haven't probably been touched except for a couple minor tweaks since we recodified in 2000, whatever year that was, we recodified. But there's a lot of new stuff in that zoning ordinance and
So future agenda items. So we've got ordinances
Yep.
tabled. Jim Olson.
Yeah, and then Jim Olson has a couple items. He has the lots on Olson Avenue. That you guys denied that first initial review. Where there was just a lot of concrete, the one that had like a lot of little townhomes, like 40 of them. He'll bring that eventually. He'll bring back the other side. You have the rest of the phases of Better Trails that'll be coming up. Soon we'll start beginning the preliminary plats for the one that's across from Remy Road, once the board approves a development annexation agreement. So that's coming.
That's a lot of future stuff specifically for October. I have applications from the, I think they call themselves the West Village, the 55 and older community that's over here that rezoning and replatting in order to, they have an issue with their insurance.
HO, yeah.
Yeah, because of the HOA and the way it was set up, they have to, right now they have to get insurance for the whole thing as one, and nobody wants to insure that whole community together. So they're rezoning, replatting in order to separate those houses so they can each get their individual.
Previously, this is just
Yeah.
a follow up to that.
We're just fixing some things for them. So that's coming up in October.
What they reached out for insurance. To me,
So
I got an opinion and we can't talk about it tonight, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, I don't, Ian's been dealing with them, worked out how they were going to fix that, and now that application is in my possession. And I think that's the only actual application I have for October now. I do have because we really love these 0 lot line CSM rezones. I've got 3 more coming up the pipe, at least 1 in November, and then a couple more that are actually here on the southeast side though. On Sugar and I can't remember because it's been a long day. Those are, we won't make those in October, but we will in November. One of them has to go to Zoning Board of Appeals, which will be meeting next month as well. And then just the things we tabled tonight that do come back. So we're not done with you yet. Gone are the days where we can cancel Plan Commission for a month.
I almost feel like you need 2.
Yeah.
Bite your tongue.
Right.
I don't have any more time for that.
Our next meeting is
October 8th.
6 p.m. All right.
I may or may not be here. I'm not sure yet.
I would entertain a motion
Second that.
to move forward.
Adjournment.
Oh, you made a motion to adjourn. Okay. Seconded by Larry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:01.